and was like, just took the little live off. So I'm gonna record it so I can make sure that we have this recording. So what was Brooklyn's problem? I do not like this Brooklyn representation. You didn't like Brooklyn. So okay, that's another question. Who did y'all not like Brooklyn? Am I froze? Tell me if I'm froze, y'all, because it looked like it. You don't like Brooklyn. Okay. So we're gonna start from the beginning like we always do. My take on the book, I'm gonna start off with my take on the book entirely, is the only person that I feel like Brooklyn did wrong was Angel, the friend that she had that she messed over at the end. That was the only person I feel like Brooklyn really. Oh, and Amir. Amir. Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. That. Oh, I was in tears. But Amir and Angel, those are the only two people that I feel like she did wrong in the book. I do not feel like she was the victim. I mean, that she was the villain in the book. I feel like she was the victim in the book. So let's start from the beginning. The book starts off with the ending of the story. Like, Tracy Brown is gonna do it every single time. Rest in peace, Tracy Brown. Your work is living on, baby, and we are still talking about it. You feel like she did her time wrong. I don't. I don't. I don't. I'm gonna tell y'all why. Okay, so boom. So the book starts off with the ending. So she pulls you in right from the end, right from the beginning. So the book starts off with a young lady who is being strangled. Okay. She's being strangled in the park and she's just describing what she's going through as she's losing her life. And I'm like, look, she started the book off like this. She didn't already stress me out. Yes. So, boom. So she getting strangled by someone. We don't know who she is. We don't know who this person is, right? And so this is the ending to this person's life. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So then it goes back. So this is 2003 when she's killed, when she's murdered. So then the story goes back. Hey, Andrea, girl, did you read it? To when, hey, hey, girl, y'all rocking with me tonight. Patricia said, so the book starts with her murder, right? So we don't know who she is, we don't know who our murderer is, and then it goes back. So we already know the person is going to die, or a person is going to die, right? So then it goes back to 1993, I want to say, some up in there. I love books that derive from this time. It just like from the music, especially when it's done right. And Tracy Brown is going to do it right every single time. The music and just like what they were wearing. I think she mentioned Jabos in here and just stuff like that. So 1995, Anita said. So it goes back to 1995 when the book first started. And it's a young lady in church, and she's describing how she feels about the church, and she's describing her family, and she's describing all of this stuff. And the description is one that I know all too well, that I know personally, that I've experienced personally. And what it is her mother and father, her father is the pastor of the church, her mother is the first lady of the church, and she's describing how it's all just hypocrisy, how it's all just, you know, they faking and fronting for the church, right? They faking in front for the church, but in the back of the church, when the church is over, they stealing the church's money, literally. Okay, living high off the church hog. All right, and so she's sitting there like, like she just couldn't stand it because she knew her parents wasn't real. Not only was they stealing the church's money, the father was a whore and sleeping with the people up in the church. So it's her and her brother Amir, and they sitting there kind of like, just think of kids just sitting up rolling their eyes and everything, right? So I'm gonna start this off with my opinion. Okay, this is Shaquana's opinion. This is not necessarily the opinion of the whole Black Girl Book Club podcast. I think that when people, and this happens like so often, we've read so many books like this, when people have these two lives that they're living. They have their church, their life where they going to church and praising the Lord and da 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 da, and then they come home and it's infidelity in their marriage. It's all these things happening. I think that that is a form of abuse as a parent to a child. Because could you imagine being a child living a double life too? Because you don't even know who you are. You have no identity. So you have your mama at church, and then you got your mama at home. You got your daddy at church, then you got your daddy at home. Who is the mama and the daddy, baby? You have an identity crisis, everything, right? So I think it's a form of abuse. I saw it over time and time again. And when you think about it in that sense, a lot of these kids turn out to be like Brooklyn, because they probably have mental health issues because of this identity crisis they dealing with. They don't know if they should be following God or their parents at church or their mama at church or whomever at church, or if they should be following the home life that they live in, right? So I asked at the beginning of the podcast, what do you think Brooklyn's problem was? Which I don't think that she was the problem. But if she had a problem, I think that that is it, right? On top of all the other shit that she went through as a child, right? So she has these parents, very much so. Right. So she have these parents who faking the funk at church, stealing the church's money. The daddy sleeping with the women in the church. He's supposed to be the pastor, yada, yada, yada. Same old story, right? So then she's like, she mentions in the beginning of the story how this one night changed everything, right? So then she goes in to tell this story of how when she was little, her mom, she told her mom's background. Her mom was raised by her non-biological father. So her mom was raised by a stepfather who raised her, and I guess he was good to her, but in the back of my mind I'm knowing he wasn't, because she was traumatized too. But and then the stepfather had a son, and when the stepfather died, he told her mother, now this is Brooklyn's mother, to look after her little brother, who is not biologically her brother, right? So she has this brother, which means Brooklyn and her siblings have this uncle. So she was really close friends with her uncle's daughter, and would, hang out with them, hang out with her all the time. Well, on this one particular night, she goes to the uncle house, or goes to the cousin house to spend the night, and her uncle is standing over her in the middle of the night, getting ready to molest her. Okay? Like clear as day. And his daughter is in the room on the top bunk, right? But Brooklyn did not play no games. I loved her because to me, she was a realist. Whatever you can take that for. But she started screaming. Most little girls, they gonna be scared, they gonna be quiet. No, she was like, somebody help me, this nigga's in here trying to touch me inappropriately. Loud. She's screaming, somebody help me, please. He like, no, be quiet, be quiet, be quiet. Maybe she told on his ass as soon as she could open her mouth. And I was like, yes, girl, or whatever, which I don't know where she got that from, because her mama was damn fool. So she's screaming. His wife comes in the room, and she's like, what is going on? And he's like, oh, I was just coming in here to check on them and make sure they were okay. Wife calls bullshit immediately. And I was applauding her too, because she was like, nigga, you off your mind if you think I'm finna believe that. She was like, you checking on Brooklyn. Did you check on your own daughter up there on the top bunk? Right? So then the wife was like, Brooklyn, get your stuff. Let's go. I'm finna take you home. So he begging, and pleading, it's just a misunderstanding. I wasn't finna do anything to her. I was just checking on them, yada, yada, yada. She's lying. She was like, no. He was in her. Maybe he had his hands on her breast or his hands in his pants or something was going on that made it apparent what he was finna get ready to try to do. Right? So boom. So the wife takes her home. Now this is her brother's wife, and I'm putting that in quotation marks, but it's her brother's wife or whatever. So she goes to the house. No, the brother ended up calling her mother. Now remember, this lady is church, a woman of God, okay? Called her before they even got back to the house to tell her what had happened. And the mama intercepts them coming to the house and tried to hush everything. But again, Brooklyn was not having it. So the mama, like, you just misunderstood. Now you thinking mama finna go crazy. No, this mama is acting like the daughter lied. She's upset with the daughter for telling on the brother. So Patrice just said, I think the mom probably had an inappropriate relationship with her stepbrother. I think that is the truth. And for real, now this is just my mind just going off the deep end. Her and that stepfather probably had an inappropriate relationship. She was messed up. I could tell the mama was messed up from something. And it probably stemmed from their daddy and their stepbrother or whatever. So the mama is like, be quiet, don't tell your daddy. The only thing that the mama is worried about, not her child, the mama is worried about the church, right? Remember, they're the pastor and first lady of the church. And she's thinking, if this gets out, we're doomed. Our money, our church is cut off. So she's trying to shut the little girl up. And she's like the betrayal, because a lot of people feel like Brooklyn betrayed people or she crossed people or whatever. Imagine your mother betraying you. This ain't like I stole some candy or somebody stole some candy from me. This man was trying to rape me, and you're going to blame it on me, and you're my mother. The amount of betrayal and trust that was probably lost in that moment, her childhood, her innocence, her everything was probably taken from her, not at the hands of the man who was finna get ready to hurt her, but at her mother, right? Brooklyn's mom resented her almost from jump. Because her dad did kind of dote on her. Do you feel like um the mom was jealous of the daddy-daughter relationship her and the father had, because he was, until the shit hit the fan, he was a great dad in my eyes. He was really good to Brooklyn, right? So check this out. So when you looking on the outside looking in, right? Let's say you a member of the congregation. You got wife, doting mother, loving husband. You got these uh well-mannered kids. Everybody is just like the picture perfect, okay? But behind closed doors, this is the type of shit that's going on. That's why I mean, like, it's a form of child abuse, right? So boom, back to the story. So the mama is like, no, that didn't happen. So the mama like, no, that didn't happen. Well, the father ended up getting up, like, what's going on? Why are they here in the middle of the night? Da, 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 da. Oh, and then the wife of the little pedophile, she was looking at the mama like, bitch, you crazy. I'm telling you, she telling the truth. She's trying to tell the truth. I thought the wife was gonna be on some other shit. No, the wife was like, no, your baby is telling the truth. I know he was in there on some slick shit. The mama was like, no, this is a misunderstanding. So she looking at the mama like, okay, sis in law, let me get away from both of y'all crazy asses. So the daddy come in there, the daddy like, what happened? Brooklyn tells the daddy what happened, and the auntie backs up the story. So the daddy goes ape shit. He like, oh no, we about to go handle this right now. So he goes to the house, and the wife, the mama, Brooklyn's mother, called and warned her stepbrother, the uncle, that the husband was coming. So by the time he got to the house, you think he was messing with his daughter too? That's why she didn't say nothing. Ooh. Yep. Yep. Ugh. So anyway, so they just brought that little baby who just got found. That was 12 years old. The uncle was messing with her, all that. Rest in peace, little baby. I can't think her name right now. But anyway, so the daddy went to the house and he was like, I'm gonna kill this nigga or whatever. So he wasn't there when he got there because the mama had called and warned him that the daddy was coming because the daddy was coming for him. So then when he got back home with Brooklyn or whatever, he talking to the mama, and the mama like, listen, we gotta think with a level head here. If you kill him, you're gonna go to jail. We're gonna lose our church. It's gonna look bad on our family. That's the only thing the mama care about. That's the only thing the mother cares about, right? So Brooklyn is like, I could only imagine the hurt that she was feeling. And this happens so much in all communities. I'm just going to speak for the Black community where the child is not believed or a blind eye is turned, right? So the mama is now she feeling like, okay, my mama ain't shit, but I got my daddy. He ready to go to war for me. The mama didn't talk the daddy down. Like, you got to think about the church, baby. You got to think about our livelihood. This gonna tear some stuff up. She's trying to protect this stepbrother. Fuck her daughter at this point. She's trying to protect her stepbrother. So she didn't talk the daddy off the ledge, and now the daddy didn't let it go. So not only was Brooklyn betrayed by her mother, she was betrayed by her father. That was his first betrayal. Okay. So when everybody is like Brooklyn was the villain, I'm like, are you for real? Like she didn't have I don't the reason why I don't think she was a villain was because she never really had bad intentions with anybody except for Hope at the end. I didn't like how she played Hope either. But she really didn't have bad intentions with anyone. She was I ain't gonna say a good person, but she wasn't a devious person. She wasn't trying to be out for people. But when you have this level of betrayal this early in your life, oh, baby, it's every man for himself. I got to look out for me. Now, I think she was that. She looked out for herself, but I don't think she was out to get nobody, right? Including Hassan, because she was looking at his best interest trying to get him up out the game, right? Or wrong. So, boom. So, that is her introduction. First, um, she wasn't the villain here. Right. So boom. So her mama and her daddy then pretty much betrayed her. But her and her daddy still have a close relationship. She feel like he was just manipulated by the mother. Right. But they still kind of tight. The mother, on the other hand, don't fuck with Brooklyn. She don't really want to have nothing to do with her daughter, but she wants to keep up appearances. So to the public, she's this loving, doting mother, wife, whatever. But behind closed doors, she's giving Brooklyn hell. Again, the parent is the person who shapes and molds the child. That's pretty much your job as a parent. So if this is how she's being shaped and molded, what else can we expect from her but what she turned out to be? Right? Right? So then, boom. So Brooklyn then turned into a menace at this point. Like, all right, this is how life is. This is what life has to offer me. Boom, I'm out for self. So then she meets Alonzo. Alonzo is her best friend's cousin. I was supposed to say her best friend boyfriend, her best friend cousin or whatever. So she meet him. She's 17. He is 24. Okay. He ain't got no business messing with this 17-year-old girl. I didn't dislike Alonzo. Outside of the fact that he was older than her and maybe he had her doing drug runs. No, he wasn't shit. He was a piece of shit. If I think about it. If I think about it enough. But he seemed like, he was cool. He liked her. So now Brooklyn, she's 17 now. She's going through this rebellious stage, right? She going through this rebellion. So what better way to rebel than to start messing with a 24-year-old man? The preacher's daughter is messing with a 24-year-old man. Okay. And it started off with just like they just friends sneaking, talking on the phone, all this and that, or whatever, to they start bumping uglies. Fucking, fucking. Do y'all think he took it back? She was the one who brought up the doing the stuff to make money. He didn't bring that to her. No, she asked him to give her an allowance. Okay, y'all. Okay, y'all. Lonzo was a piece of shit. I'm not going to give him a pass. I'm not going to give him a pass. So he had a whole nother girlfriend, but he was not lying to her. He was not lying to her, Rhonda. He didn't tell her he had another girlfriend, but it wasn't like it's about to be me and you, a 24-year-old dope boy. Right. So boom. So they start messing around. She's sneaking out of school. She not going to school. She her grades is slipping. She got to make up special arrangements with her teachers. Yeah, she was looking for a way out in her own way. She was using him too. Oh, a tree. So Brooke, they was getting used. Both of them was getting used because she really used him as a 17-year-old child, and he was 24. He should have known better. Or did he know what her play was and played on that? Right? Baby, these niggas be slick. Anywho, so she's messing with him. So she wants more freedom. And like Patrice said, she want to get out. She wants a way out. But let's back up just a little bit. So she has this brother, Amir. So her and Amir are really, really close. They are like close. They see their parents for who they are, right? Hope, they have a younger sister, Hope, and Hope is like into the church, and she like her little mama mini me, or so everybody thinks. So she's like the mama mini me. So she just does what her parents says. She's like the perfect child. But Amir and Brooklyn is on to their ass. They some hypocrites. They really not about this church like for real. So they bond through that. So when she started messing with Alonzo, so now she's sneaking and lying and all this and that. Amir has a secret as well. How many of y'all knew he was gay before she caught them in their room? So Brooklyn come home one day and walk in on her brother messing with another boy from the church. So not only do her parents have this little wayward child over here sleeping with the 24-year-old dope boy, they got the little baby that's gay. I was like, oh my gosh. Did anybody have an inkling of that? Or was that just like, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened? Right? So, she walks in on her brother with that, but then she goes back to him and he thought that maybe she was gonna judge him or something like that as soon as he was talking to the drummer. So they start to bond not only over their distrust for their parents and like seeing who their parents for who they really were, but now they're bonding over these secret lives because she got a secret life with Alonzo and he got a secret life. What was the boy named Josh? He's an important character in this book. It started with a J. So they doing their thing, she's telling us Alonzo and Brooklyn's story and what they going through. Brooklyn wants to start making some money. She's looking for a way out. So she asked Alonzo to give her an allowance. And he was like, baby, that ain't how this works. You ain't got it like that. You ain't popping it like that, baby. You ain't popping it like that. I can't just be giving you no money. He was like, the fuck I look like? He did her dirty with that because he could have gave her an allowance because she was sexing him down. So he was like, no, I'm not gonna just give you no money, baby. That ain't how this work. You're gonna have to work for it. And I was like, dang, now that was cold blooded. Yeah, Alonzo wasn't shit or whatever. Cause they was supposed to be cool. They was messing with each other. They weren't boyfriend and girlfriend, but it seemed like they had a pretty decent relationship where he could have kicked her down a little something, something or whatever. No, but he was like, you gotta work for this. And so she was like, what you want me to do? So now he was like, I want you to take these packages over to she was from Staten Island. I can't think of wherever he was. She had to travel to somewhere else to get take the drugs. and get the money. So she's basically his drug mule now. Woo woo! We got Jennifer in the house. Woo woo! Hey Jennifer, girl. So we talking about Brooklyn. Did you read it, Jennifer? We talking about Brooklyn by Tracy Brown. Rest in peace, Tracy. So she's now his drug mule, and she's taking the drugs over to somebody tell me where she going. She going to New York from Staten Island? Maybe. And so she's taking the drugs over here. In the meantime, the person that Harlem, in the meantime, where she's taking the drugs to, she befriends like the person who she's taking the drugs to, Stacy. Her and Stacy become cool. How do we feel about Stacy? Did Stacy like take her under her wing, or is Stacy another person who took advantage of her? Boom. Because Brooklyn was smart. So she's transporting these drugs over to Stacy. While she's doing it, her and Stacy getting cool or whatever. Right? Her and Alonzo is fucking every day, morning, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay. So of course she gets pregnant. But Brooklyn was like, "Oh, you're not finna trap me." Jordan was the brother's boyfriend, Jordan. So he like, "You ain't," she was like, "You ain't finna trap me, baby." She started looking into abortion clinics and all that from jump. She did say, I think she did Stacey dirty. That's what I'm saying. I was not getting that at all. At all. She rolled for Stacey. So anyway, um, yeah. So she's going over to her. She befriended Tracy. She get pregnant. And so she made her appointment for abortion. She was like, "I ain't ready for no baby right now, yada, yada, yada." But she is in love with Alonzo. They in a relationship. You know how the men be like, "You just my little, yeah, yeah." But no, they was in a relationship. Hi, Chanel, girl. It's been so long. So, he her little, whatever. Shaquana let me in. Patrice can't never sit her ass still. I gotta send you a new link. But anyway, so he did she doing that. And now she pregnant. So she had already made her appointment for the clinic. But then when she brought it to him, she was kind of disappointed in the way that he did it, because he was like, "We can't have no baby." Meanwhile, he got a girlfriend and she didn't know or whatever. But he was like, "We can't have no baby." So that kind of made her sad, like, "Dang, you gonna do me like that?" Patrice, I'm sending it to you in Messenger. She was like, "Dang, you gonna do me like that or whatever?" And so she was like, "I had already made the appointment. You could just go on and take me to the abortion clinic." So she went to the abortion clinic or whatever, and she got the abortion. After this, her and Alonzo, everything is kind of good. Her life is going pretty good. Like, she's sneaking from her parents. She ain't having no drama there. They not tripping with her, nothing like that. They just letting her go about her, do her thing. Her and her brother are really close. They vibing. They both got these secret lives. Everybody is asking her, who is she messing with? She has this best friend, Erica, who's Alonzo's cousin or whatever. And she like, "Who is this mystery man?" Her brother is like, "Who is this mystery man?" Nobody knows who he is. They just know she messing with somebody. And her brother is telling her, "Be careful." Their talks, their relationship, in the way the talks that they would have, in the way that he was like trying to warn her and stuff like that, that led me to believe that something was going to happen to him, because their conversations was kind of deep. Like, he would say little things, and then she kept saying, "Go off, live your life, be gay. I want you to get away from this, get up under mommy and daddy's wing. I want you to be able to be free and be the person who you are." So I felt like something was gonna happen to him, because their conversations just would always hit me in a way that made me feel like something was gonna happen. So anyway, she get her abortion, life is kind of smooth or whatever. So then Erica, the best friend, called her one day. Oh, she ended up telling the friend that she was messing with Alonzo, because she felt bad that she was not telling her friend, or maybe the friend caught her or something like that. So somehow the friend ended up finding out she was messing with Alonzo, which was her cousin. And she warned her too. She was like, he's not who you think he is. Right? Patrice, I can't see you. She's like, he's not who you think he is, or whatever. And the baby, like, I got this. Don't worry about it. I've been messing with him for a long time. That's my boo. So then Erica calls her one day and she was like, I hate to tell you this, but this nigga's about to get married. Now she just had an abortion about 2 days ago because he ain't ready. And now he finna get married. Was he wrong for that? I kind of felt like he was, but then again, I kind of felt like he told her. Everybody told her. Her brother told her. The girl told her.
Shaquana,
Huh?
this girl just wanted to be grown. And the thing about it is what she didn't realize, she thinking that her mind is on the same level with these grown people. And one day she gonna get there, but that just not today. So she messing with this 24-year-old man. Your mind ain't there yet. You still a baby. That's why you at home with your parents, so you can learn and so they can groom you properly, even though that wasn't happening. But the thing is, this man told her all along, but she's 17, so she gullible and she haven't experienced nothing yet. This is her first boyfriend. This is her first everything. The only thing she's ever did is snuck on a bus and window shopped in Brooklyn or wherever she went to. And so the thing
Mm-hmm.
is, he was telling her everything, but she was going off what she was feeling. But if she
That's
would
kind of how I felt
listen,
about the
if she would have
situation.
listened like a seasoned woman, of course, like you and me, he was telling her all the time that you are not my girlfriend. You know, he was telling her all the time, but she wanted to be grown. And I'm not saying what he did to her was right, but she kept pushing, and he was like, "Well, shit. If she feeling froggish, I'm gonna let her leave."
But as a 24-year-old man, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I kind of feel what you're saying. That's kind of where I was at with it. But as a 24-year-old man, you know that you this girl's first. She was a virgin when she met you. When you start dropping that dick off on her, you ain't think she's about to lose her mind and start selling drugs for you. And
No, I don't think he expected all of that. So you know what? It was like he didn't want to push her and have sex, but she kept pushing. Now, was he a little porous and accepted anything? Yes, he was. But you remember he tried to hold off, but she kept pushing and he wanted to fuck her
he
anyway.
was trying to wait till that girl turned 18 so he wouldn't take his ass to jail.
So
It
he
wasn't
wouldn't
like
go
he
to
was trying to
so
preserve
he
her.
was in control of his thoughts. He was in control of his thoughts, but she kept pushing, and he's still a man now.
Okay.
He's still a man, and she's sitting up here naked, titties
He
sitting up
was a
high,
baby. She
booty
was a
young,
baby.
everything new. And so he was like, you know what, I'm gonna go on and do it. But you know what? So let me go on the other side of this.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I think he was grooming her. And maybe,
Mm.
just maybe, he was just like, I'm gonna make her think that she's the one who wanted it.
Mm.
I'm gonna make her, so he manipulated her. And so it's like, okay, I don't want to do it. I want to wait. You're not old enough. So I think even with the drug selling, he let her think that she was in control, but she
Mm-hmm.
really wasn't. He knew what he was doing all the time. And that's why he told her, don't you ever, 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 ever come over here. Don't you ever come over here
To the house. To the house.
to the house
Oh, but baby.
without.
Oh my God, this is so funny, y'all. Okay, we gotta get to this point. So Erica called her. She was like, he finna get married. So Erica, 17, she thinking she in love. She was like, oh no, this nigga got me fucked up. So she done got on the bus or whatever and drove to this boy house. How did she know where he lived? Drove.
Because that's the house he took her to all the time. If you remember, Shaquana, there was a point in the book where she went over there and she saw some wine in the refrigerator, and she knew that he's like, wait a
Right,
minute.
right, right,
So
right.
so that so he
He
was
took
doing
her there.
good
He
as a
just said, don't ever pop up.
yeah. So he was a drug dealer, but he hadn't arrived, but he was doing good for himself. And so he
Mm-hmm.
still lived in the hood. And the house that he had his fiance in is the same house that he had her in. So the fiance had free reign.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to call her Rain. Brooklyn did not.
Okay, so She mad. Her heart is broken, y'all. So she gets on this bus, takes her little young ass to this boy house, and get ready to show her ass and got her ass beat.
And you know what? I'm glad that you know what, Tracy Brown is such a good writer. And sometimes as readers, we want to see what we want to see. And so in a perfect world, Brooklyn would have beat her ass. But no, she wanted to show her that she was young. You didn't came at this seasoned woman and she tapped that butt.
She didn't tap shit. She tore her up. She looked like she had got a fight with Mike Tyson. That girl beat the shit out of Brooklyn in Brooklyn. So she's like, she mad. She got beat up. Her feelings. He told her not to go over there. Her feelings is hurt. So she walks off. So then here he go chasing her down. Like, I didn't mean to hurt you, basically. Okay, so now I'm feeling like now y'all got me looking at Lonzo all wrong. He didn't chase her down, not because he really liked her. He was trying to apologize. He knew that she needed to take them drugs.
100%. Work still got to get done because I got a woman at home and she want Gucci, she want Louis, she want Prada.
Right.
So we need Brooklyn to keep going across that on that ferry to make sure Mama eat.
So boom. So she walking down the street, she mad, she crying, she like, oh my God, I just had an abortion by this man. I'm done with him. So here he
And
comes,
again,
his
Shaquana,
dumb self. Go
with
ahead.
that abortion, he manipulated her into
Why you
like
say that? No, she was getting that abortion from
no,
John.
she was getting it, but he tried to play because he wanted her to still keep playing for his team and working for him. So he was just like, you sure? All the time he wanted her to get an abortion. He had no plans. When he was like, well, I just want you to do what you want to do. He pushed a little bit to make her feel like he was just like, well, it's your choice. But everything that she did, he manipulated her into feeling like it was all her who was making the decisions, but it wasn't.
So he done
He
ran
was
down on her. And he like, I'm sorry, yada yada yada. She was like, boy, fuck you. I ain't dealing with you no more, whatever. So she walking down the street. Now she looking like Evander Holyfield when he had that
that episode of Martin where he fought.
She looking like that, right? So he come chasing her down. So then here come the police. See them, right? And so the police stopped them because they think that he's the one who beat her up.
No. That's not what happened.
What happened?
So what happened was she was walking away. She was away from him. I want to say that the lady from the church had saw her and pulled her away.
She didn't see her till the police came.
No, but when they stopped him, he wasn't dealing with her. She saw the police stop him and she ran back up to the scene.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
She ran back up to the scene and they was like, ma'am, you need to get back.
Right. So he had tinted windows. They pulled him over for some bullshit, but that's a whole nother story for another day. So they didn't pull him over. She beat up. They like, did you put your hands on her? And then the gossipy church lady see him. And she like, Brooklyn, what are you doing over here? And Brooklyn like, that's just my friend and yada, yada, yada. And the church lady was like, well, let me get you home to your parents. This is a member of the church. And so Alonzo is getting locked up and his dumb self got drugs in his car. So he's finna go to jail. Jail. Okay. So I guess that was his karma for messing her over and getting her beat up and stuff. So,
but remember, Shaquana, you remember when she started making these runs for them, everybody who was like that Alonzo was affiliated with it in this drug trafficking thing was like, Alonzo wrong for this. When they saw her and they knew she was young, they was just like, okay, she in it, but they just told everybody was just like, Alonzo wrong for this. Alonzo know he wrong. And then it's like, oh, he fucking you.
Even Stacy was like, if he cared about you, he wouldn't let you do this.
He wouldn't have you doing this.
Girl, welcome. So boom. So now he finna go to jail. She done got beat up. The church lady then found out. She just had the day from hell. I'm like, girl, you should have never took your ass over there. I'm like, you should have never went over to there and got beat up, is what you should have never did. And so now he's in jail. The church lady didn't get her. So the church lady take her to the church. Why would she take her to the church?
Cause she
Because she
messy.
was messy.
Cause she messy.
Because she was messy. So she takes her to the church. The mama is standing outside waiting on her to get to the church. So the church lady is like, this is what happened, yada, yada, yada. So of course, the mama hate her. So she was like, what you done did? Why was you doing this? Not worried about her well-being or, who didn't beat your ass. I don't know why it's so funny to me. Who didn't
Shaquana,
beat your ass? What's going?
Shaquana, can I
Uh,
say something about the mother's relationship? I know you talked about her earlier,
go ahead, go
but
ahead.
I think that this mother almost never really cared for Brooklyn. And I
Mm-hmm.
would say she didn't like the independence that Brooklyn always had an independence about her, even as a young child. And
Mm-hmm.
at that point, it wasn't resentment for her mother, but her mother wished it was something that she had. But it was a
Mm.
quiet, so it grew into a quiet resentment. And
Mhm.
then when she had that incident with the brother, I think that that dude was messed up, because if you remember his wife's reactions, she knew that he had issues. He just didn't know that he would mess with babies. And so I think the mother always had a
Mhm.
relationship with the brother. And to have Brooklyn, like now, Brooklyn with her independent self that I wish I was more like, now this guy that has always revered and loved, like, had a thing for me, he want my daughter. Not on top of that, she's starting to blossom and she's beautiful. And so the mother resents that. It's like the mother resented that. She grew up, she was starting to be beautiful, even eclipsing her mom. And so
Mm.
she was jealous then. And so when the brother started messing with her, the mother knew he did it, but it was another thing that made her jealous. And then the way that the father got behind her made her even more jealous. And so the thing is, the mother, everything that she had for Brooklyn was growing in her. So it was never, she was never
Mm.
in danger of her mother having her back or loving her like a mother should, because her mother resented her daughters. And if we think about it, we have read many books where the mothers are like that. They look at their daughters as competition.
Mhm.
And her daughter was competition for her, and she wouldn't just stay in her place and follow the skit that was drawn out for her. Okay, but now
Mm.
back to she then took this girl to the church.
Rhonda said that the wife said she had to deal with other women, but now little girls, baby. And I'm out of her. She got gone, okay? But anyway, so the messy church lady that took her to church, the mama is like scolding her, what you did now, why was you with him, blah blah, because the church lady, she telling everything. So I was mad at her a little bit, like, dang, you couldn't try to help the little girl, you just gonna throw her under the bus. So anyway, the mama tripping, she was like, this gonna look bad for the church, come on, let's hurry up and go home before they can get in the car. Her come the daddy. Go to daddy. Oh, the daddy was a joke to me, but I did like him at first. So then here come the daddy. What happened? Who did this to my daughter? He ready to ride down again for his baby. He had some hood in him. What's that daddy name? He had some hood in him. So he was ready to go
Is
ride
that,
out.
I think his
So
name was Elias or something like
yeah, something like that was kind of funny. So they get home because the wife like, don't get out here acting crazy in front of these church folk now. So she like, let's take this on home. We're gonna take it home. So they get home. The mama is going crazy. Like, we know you lying, you a whore, you sneaky, da 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 da. Brooklyn reminded me of me at this time. She was like, I don't know what y'all talking about. He is just my friend. That is Erica's cousin. Erica is my best friend. Of course I know him. Yada yada yada. Meanwhile, she been fucking this boy for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
but
Oh,
Shaquana,
daddy line.
the mother is using this because she's going over and beyond. The mother is using this as a way to spin the narrative and really try to make the father resent her, because she don't know everything yet. But the mother
Mhm.
is using this to, like, because she's been wanting to turn the daddy against her anyway.
This is
And,
so
and so this is a good
explosive.
way that I can
This was
spin the
so
narrative
good.
and really shine a light on her that she is not who we thought, even though we don't really
Baby.
see enough of this. We don't see it.
Uh-huh.
We don't really see any evidence, but the mother is trying to sway the dad.
Right. So the mama is going above and beyond, like Patrice said, to make her out to be a real bad person, right? But they don't know everything that she done did yet. So she's steady telling her daddy, it's not what you think. You know, he's just my friend, yada, yada, yada. So the daddy like, come on, let's go take a ride with me. I'm like in love with Elias at this point. Like I really love him because he really showed her a lot of love. Like the love that I was hoping that her mother would give her. Her daddy was really showing it to her. He was like, I'm not ashamed of you. You know, you my daughter. I don't care if you got your ass beat. Will take you to the church, and I don't care what people got to say. The wife was all about image. He was like, you my daughter, you gonna always be my daughter, or whatever. And he was steady asking her to tell him the truth. And she was like, I'm telling you the truth. I just seen him when I was walking down the street. I had a fight with some girls at school, yada yada yada. She done made up this whole lie. She is sticking to her lie. So she spent the day with her dad. They went and got McDonald's. You know, it's turning around for her. She getting better. She went to the church with the daddy. And the boy, Alonzo mom, Miss Hutchinson, she went to the church, right? So she was one of them older ladies and always looked cute, dressed up nice because her son a drug dealer and he kicking her down or whatever. So she comes to the church hysterical, you know, and he got locked up. So she gives the pastor Alonzo's money
Yeah, his
from his drug
stash.
dealings.
And
Okay.
they don't know at this time. They really don't know who the guy is that she's, you know, they don't really know that he's messing around with Alonzo. So Alonzo's mom doesn't know. And so she's sitting out. The dad said, hold on, sit out here for a minute. Let me talk to sister Alonzo mama. And she gives the money over. And Brooklyn hears it all.
Right. So she give the money to the daddy because the police is like raiding their house and stuff like that. So she was like, I need a safe place to stash this. The daddy, like, again, in some shit. He like, all right, that's cool. You can leave it here. Cause she was kicking it down the church anyway, with a lot of money, a lot of drug money anyway. So the girl is there, Brooklyn is there, the daddy is there. So then they finally go home. And when they get home, this little baby, this 17-year-old, something that a 17-year-old would do. She got all her skeletons literally in her closet. And her mama then found it. The mama that hate her then found everything that she had in her closet, from abortion papers to sex notes to all kind of
The
stuff. So
birth
that was
control,
all
the
birth
fact that she was
control.
taking a ferry over to Staten Island. The only thing she didn't find out is that this girl was doing drug runs.
She was selling
And
drugs.
so she knows everything. And the thing is, you notice she don't love her daughter because she's not talking to her daughter. She's weaponizing these things that she found and talking to the dad. See,
Mm-hmm.
like, so she's using this as ammunition to turn the dad against her. She's not talking to her saying, you got an abortion? Like, are you okay? Like, what, she's not talking to her daughter the way, because I would be concerned with my daughter, like, are you okay? Like,
You
was you
did
safe?
all this yourself.
Who, you did all this yourself? Who took you?
I wasn't there with you
Like
to
who?
hold your hand.
She's not talking to her daughter in the way that, you know, we would talk to our daughter. I mean, and you would be mad, but she's just using it as a weapon, just talking to the dad like this whore called her all of this stuff, and she knows her husband. And Shaquana, let me I'm not saying that the dad, that I don't look at that in a negative way, but you got to look at a man who loves his wife and who thinks that his wife has his best interest in her. You know how to manipulate your husband. I'm saying, I'm not saying you do. I'm not saying you do, but you his
You just
woman.
said about business on the air. Hold on now.
I'm just okay. I'm just saying the average woman who been with him as long as, because their oldest son is 23. They ain't had no kids out of wedlock. She know how to manipulate her husband. She know how to sway her husband's thinking. She know where to touch, what to say, what to do. And so she did that when he back there with that man, even though he knew it wasn't wrong. You got to remember at the same time, that's his wife, and he done wrong to his wife, so he got to meet her halfway on some shit because he
Right,
didn't
Chanel.
fucked everything with two legs, and so he got to give his wife something, and he is with her, and he do love her, She know how to manipulate that man. And so she knew exactly what to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the mama is tripping. Now this when the daddy got on my bad side. Baby, he tore into her ass, slapped that girl,
Well, you
all
know why he
kind of stuff.
slapped her? He
Cause
slapped her
she told
because,
his ass. Like
okay,
you discussed it with me, and you out here sleeping with every Lucy Sue boo boo.
but you
You
know
the
what?
whore.
But you know what? And what she said was right. But let me say this. This is my motherfucking house. This is my motherfucking house. And you don't have shit to do with nothing. I pay the motherfucking bills. I'm the reason why you live in that. You are no, Shaquana, you are homeless. This is how this man felt. You are homeless. You live in my house. If I give you a room at the end of the hall, without me, you don't fucking exist. He was like, how dare you come at me? That's a man. I'm not saying he was right. Shaquana, I'm not saying he was right, but he said, this is my motherfucking house. I give you a place to stay. Bitch, you homeless.
You
That's what the
taught
dad is
me.
saying.
You taught me this. You taught me this.
You're
If I'm a
right.
whore, you raised me to be a whore.
But you know
And you
what?
gonna sit up here in my face and call me a whore? You taught me how to be a
But you
whore.
know what? When I'm paying the bills on the floor that you standing on, calling me out on, you ain't got shit to say. How dare you? That's how the dad felt. She was right. But how fucking dare you? Not up
I
in
hear
here.
it.
And so I'm saying that she was right, but this is my house. You're not getting ready to call me on shit. Not in my house.
Well, he smacked that fire from her. So she's getting ate up by the mama and now by the daddy. Daddy was the only person she really had as her ally from her parents. Now he's against her. He's berating her. He's like he hate her, like you ain't my daughter, you gotta get out, yada yada yada, right?
Exactly
So
what
the
the mother
mama
wanted.
and the mama backing him up. Yeah, she a whore. I told you she was a whore. Da, 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 da. Rhonda said she was out of pocket. Oh no. Oh no. Like that stuff
She's
is just so
17. You know
hypocritical.
what?
Like
You
how you
17 and I pay
don't
your
know.
bills. You can't even shit without the toilet stool that I pay for. You can't check me, boo. Who gonna check me? This is my house. My sons, well, they don't live here no more. But when they was living in this house, they can't fucking check Patrice Watson because this my shit. I work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. I'm pulling a big bag. You can't motherfucking check me.
But if you are abusing them, manipulating them,
Her daddy was not.
he was. Like I said at the beginning, that whole church hurt stuff, that is a form of abuse. And that's my opinion. I'm not saying it is facts, but you coming home, no, you at the church, you preaching to the people, telling them don't lie, don't steal, don't cheat, da, 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 da. And then you cheat doing everything you said, stealing, lying, cheating. That's abuse,
He abusing the congregation.
right? And you making me watch it. That's what I'm saying. And then you gonna sit up here and tell me that you disgusted by me, and I have to sit up and
In
watch
my
you lie to these
home,
people every Sunday.
even though I cuss, my 12-year-old cannot cuss. Don't do what I do, do what I say. It's not right, but a parent don't look at it that way. You can't check me in my house like that. Now, I can say I respect your opinion if I do or whatever, but you're not getting ready to come at me like that. Not when I'm the daddy. And so the thing is, he smacked her because how dare you? Because it's his house. She's right. What she said is right, but this is my house. You're not getting ready to talk to me like that in my house. I can say what the fuck ever I want to you in my house. But the thing about it, you haven't said you leaving or nothing like that. You don't live nowhere else. How you coming at me like
Go.
that?
Even after she left, they was trying to get her to come back. But anyway, come on, we going off.
Okay,
We
I
going off
mean,
the rails.
so
We
but I
getting off the
agree
hook.
what you're saying,
I get what you
Shaquana.
saying too, Patrice, but it has to be a different way about going about life than
True.
treating your kids like they ain't shit. When you ain't shit, you can talk them not to be shit,
But
right?
he haven't treated her up into this fire. At least he feels like he haven't treated her like she ain't shit. He feels like he hasn't. He feels like he just took her out and all of that kind of stuff. And then
Because she was doing what he wanted her to do.
Yeah.
And the minute he found out she wasn't, now she a whore.
No,
What
no, no,
happened to me
no.
being your
It
baby
was
girl, your daughter, the one you love, the one who back you got? I'm just freaking on Brooklyn's behalf. You know what I'm saying? All that shit you was talking about in the car, no, okay, cool. Betrayed again, just like I was when I was a kid. Get the fuck out of here. Both of y'all wrong. The mama and the daddy.
he's a hypocrite. The mother, she wrong on a different level because the mother is using this to manipulate the daddy. And the mother has been successful in manipulating him and his thinking because the mother knows he loves his daughter. He loves the ground that she walked on the day before yesterday. And the mother manipulated that situation to make him feel the way that he did. And then it's like, and then you say this to me, but the daddy is wrong about what he was doing. And I think he was called, God got him on that. But
For
anyway,
real.
let's
That's
let's
what I'm
move forward.
saying. Okay, so boom. So everybody is ganging up on her, from the mama to the daddy. Everybody is getting on her, getting at her ass, right? So then the brother, when she started going off on the daddy, the brother was like, "Now you going too far." Whatever. He like, just calm down, chill out, we'll be all right. She looking at him like, you not gonna come to my defense.
She
But I
like
guess
N
he was like
word.
what Patrice had said. He was like, wait a minute now, this where I lay my head. This where I live. These are my parents. And so he wasn't saying nothing. And Brooklyn was getting mad and she was getting defensive like a child would. She's 17. And so she ended up saying, why y'all talking all this shit to me in so many words? You gotta read the book if you want to know exactly what she said. Why y'all talking all this shit to me? He's gay.
Okay, she was wrong for that.
She was
Okay,
so wrong for
she was
that. She
wrong for
should
that,
not have
Shaquana.
said that. She should not. Like I said, he Amir and Angel and Hope. Those was the only people that she wronged in this book. I don't care about none of that stuff you talking about, Patrice. Everybody else can get it. And
I agree
she
with you,
gave them
Shaquana. And let me
what
tell
they
you
get.
what I think about Brooklyn in this point. Brooklyn again is trying to be, you know how they say you're trying to be too big, you too big for your britches. Brooklyn is
Mm-hmm.
17. So there's a lot in life that she don't understand yet. So what she don't understand, the brother understands the consequences of him being gay in America at this point, gay in America, gay in the church, gay with a father as a pastor, and
Mm-hmm.
what that would look like for him inside the church, inside his home, and with the world. There is still, even though in this moment that we're in right now, where it's more accepted than it ever has been, at that time it wasn't. And it's still a struggle today. But this dude, he knew what it meant to come out in America, at home, at church, to his parents who were saved, who preach about it every Sunday. So Brooklyn she didn't get that. So when she did this to him, she didn't realize when she said it, she killed him. She killed him when she said it.
Mm-hmm. That was
She's
crazy.
young, she's 17, and she don't know, but she want to be grown so fucking bad. That's how, like when you see kids who want to be grown and you telling them you 7 years old, you don't need to be twerking, because pedophiles, you twerking on your little TikTok, pedophiles is watching you. They following you. You don't realize what it is that you're doing.
Trying to protect her?
You said what?
You think they was trying to protect her? Or do you think they were trying to protect their image?
They wasn't trying to protect her. It was all about image.
Yeah. So okay, so boom. So she said the brother was gay. So when they say you taking the heat off, she took that heat off her, baby. She took that heat off her because the mama almost fell back and the daddy got on his ass. He started fighting that boy. That daddy was something else. He started
I hated
fighting
it.
Amir, like turned him up, and that just
Like
hurt my heart
a
because
man on
Amir
the
was
street.
a good boy. He was a good brother to her. He was a good son to them because he was grown. He could have left, but he stayed there for their benefit, for their support, so that he could be there for his parents and
Shaquana, you
be
know
in
what
the
I
church and
hated?
everything.
You know what I hated? I
What?
hated in that moment the parents split. To them, to the dad,
Mm,
Amir was no longer my son, but he fighting for Brooklyn. And for the mother, Brooklyn is no longer my daughter, but I'm fighting for Amir. They
Mm.
split the family, killed Hope. But like it was like they
Hope
both
was a real one. Hope
she was
was a
wise
real one.
beyond her years.
She was a real one. And that's what she told Brooklyn. She was like, you think we don't know he gay? You think we ain't been knowing that boy was gay? We
The
know.
daddy knew. He just didn't want to hear it out loud. You know how
Right,
you have a man that's cheating on a woman and the woman know and she lived through it and she deal with it. Where it kills her at is when everybody else finds out. It's the embarrassment. That daddy knew his son was gay. The
right.
mama did too.
Rhonda said Brooklyn never knew when to shut the fuck up, and I couldn't agree with you more because I just knew Stacy was going to give her a round two of what their fiance did
Rhonda,
when
you
they
are
had
100% right. And I can't say that Hope was obedient. Hope was wise
She
beyond
was
her
smart.
years.
She was smart. She was getting by. She was like, I know what I got to do to get by, but you like you said, Brooklyn, she just wanted to be
She
grown and
was
rebellious.
quietly holding the family together.
She did. She did. So the daddy ended up putting Amir out. Brooklyn didn't get put out. He did tell her to leave, but she never left. She went up to her room. So then she like, all right, this is my break. I can go. I've been trying to get out of here for all this time. I can go. The mama was talking about she was going to send her to a girl's home. I wanted to smack that mama.
The
But the
girl's
mom was talking about
17
she
and a
was finna
half.
send
Why
her
she
to a
going to
girl's
a home?
home and all this and that. It was just weird. And so she ended up running away. When she ran to Stacy's house. That was the lady who house she used to take drugs to for Alonzo. Her and Stacy had developed a relationship. So now her and Stacy cool. And she was like, look, she told Stacy everything, all this stuff or whatever. So now she's staying at Tracy's house. Everybody is looking for her while she's staying at Tracy's house, but she's running. She's 17 years old. She ain't got a sense, her brain ain't developed all the way yet. So she's not answering the phone. Don't nobody know where she at. Nobody knows about her drug life. So nobody knows Stacy or anything like that. So, and she stole Alonzo money. So from the church, because she knew it was there. So she went to the church. She had keys to the church, took the money from the church. So that's how she about to get back. So she go to Stacy's house. Stacy's looking at her like this young girl. She told her everything that was going on. So she kind of took her in. Plus, this Stacy used her too. I love talking about these books with y'all. Did Stacy use her too? Because did she really want to bring her in like I can help her? Or did she bring her in because she knew that she could use her the way that Alonzo did?
Can I say this though? Stacy, the thing that she did different than Alonzo was that she told her the real deal. She said, you make this decision on your own with your 17-year-old brain. You make because she says because Stacy kept thinking this girl is so stupid. But she told her the time that she could get, what would happen, all of that kind of stuff. Stacy was clear. But the one thing Stacy did have a thing in the back of her mind, like, should I trust her based on what she just did to her family?
I didn't get that. I didn't, I don't know. Anywho, so Stacy ended up allowing her to stay. She was like, I got you, girl. We cool. I seen how you move or whatever. I got your back. But in the back of Stacy's head, she is kind of like side-eyeing her, like, damn, you threw your brother under the bus like that. He didn't do nothing to you. Why would you do that to him? So meanwhile, the brother is going through because
Anita, what are you saying to a degree? What in the chat?
that when
What's
I
type of
asked if she used her. If
Oh, okay,
I
okay, I
asked if
got
she
you.
used
I
her.
got you. Okay.
So, the brother is going through. He always wanted to be accepted by his father. His father was like his hero. And for his father to be how he is with him right now, he can't really take it. He's taking that really hard because he grown. He's 23 years old. He can go. He ain't no kid. He can go off and start to live his life and be free, which is what Brooklyn kind of said too. Do we believe? Because she was saying she blurted that out, not necessarily to hurt him, but to set him free was really what she said or whatever. So
Mm.
he going through hell. He wants to be back in that house with his daddy and his mama because that's what he knows. He know that he was going to step up in his father's place in the church, even if he had to hide his sexuality. He wanted to be there for his family. He wanted his father's approval. So he's going through it. And ultimately, because we run a long time or we were out of time, but ultimately he ends up ending his own life, which was really really heartbreaking to me. Like that crushed me because Amir was a good guy. He was there for his sister. He was there for his family. I think him and Jordan had a good relationship, and in essence, it was Brooklyn's fault. I felt bad for Brooklyn
Not
though.
in
I really
essence,
do.
it was her who did it. And even after his death, in her
But it was
mind,
the daddy who did it
okay, no, no,
for
no, no, no,
jumping
no.
on that boy and
Okay,
putting him out.
yep, the reason why he didn't want to tell his dad because he knew what his dad would do because he preached about it every Sunday about gay, like that is not accepted by the church. So the thing is, and Brooklyn knew that. And so when she outed him, she didn't think about the consequences it would have for him, what he would do. And so he basically said, "You're not my son." Even though, you know what, Shaquani, even though you don't want to be a part of your family, that ain't what I want with my family. So what your fight is not my fight. The thing
Mhm.
is, okay, Brooklyn, you looking to be free. I'm not. So don't fuck up what I got. And so she
Mhm.
messed up what he had. So at the end of the day, excuse me, at the end of the day, she outed him and it caused all these things that he knew would happen. And so when he went back the next day and tried to try to get his things or whatever, his dad kicked him out again. And to him, it's over. It's 100% over. But if you remember, and I'm going along because we're out of time. But when she went to the funeral home, because she didn't go to the funeral, but she stayed outside. She didn't go directly up to the gravesite, but she stayed outside. When she talked to him, she was like, "But you left me by myself." Still, she was selfish in that moment, saying, "You didn't stand up for me." He didn't stand up for her because I'm trying to stand up for myself. You didn't give me no choice.
And I was trying to save your butt, telling you shut the hell up.
I was trying to tell you to shut up because you wasn't prepared to go nowhere without going and stealing that money from the church. She wouldn't have had nowhere to go because trust me, if she didn't have no money when she went to Stacy, it would have been over.
So, long story short, so he ended his life. She found out through a phone call from Erica, her best friend. And I felt bad for her in that moment because I'm sure that hurt her to know that she
Shaquana,
was the
Rhonda
cause of
said,
it.
Rhonda said we need to just do a part 2 of this.
We need to do a part two. Okay.
Just finish it next week
Yep.
because to speed through this part of the book
Yeah.
is
A
a
lot
lot
happens.
because a lot
A lot
happens
happens.
here.
We might
Rhonda,
be like halfway. You
we
right.
treasure you as a member of the podcast, and I think that you are right, and we gonna call it.
And it's a good ending too. And it's a good stopping point for us for this week. So if you guys want to know what happens after this big family blow up, when the shit hits the fan, is the name of the chapter. No, I'm just playing. But if you want to know what happened at the end, because this is like her adult life.
Yeah,
Before this stuff happened, that was like her child life. And then after this stuff happened, is her like adult life and what happens as she's an adult. And I think that now this is probably where I would say she kind of turned bad to me, kind of. But prior to this, she was only doing what she was taught, what she was told, what she saw every Sunday, every day in her household. And that's what she was learned behavior. So,
and when you go to an adult, you know right from wrong. Sometimes they tell you like, okay, I know what you went through. You had issues with your mama, but you know right from wrong. But can I say this before we jump off? I just
mhm.
want to pay homage to Tracy Brown. Like we did a show right after she passed because we've read her books in the past. But when I tell you, she was a phenomenal writer, and I'm so glad that she was an author because she will live on in these words in between these pages in these books.
And
I
she's a
mean,
pioneer. She one of the first,
she's a
or back in
she's
the
a
day.
pioneer for this
Like some of our favorites read her books and became authors because of her work.
Black urban fiction. She's a pioneer. And when I tell you my hat, like shout out to Tracy Brown, like to have this is the dream to have to live after you're gone and is living in these words. And so this book is part of that legacy.
Yes, 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 yes. So thank you for giving us something to talk about. So we'll be back next week, y'all. We'll finish it up next week.
And I'm laying in the bed talking to y'all. I will be on camera next week. I'm sure I'll be feeling better.
All righty. So
All
we'll see
right.
y'all next week. Thanks for joining us tonight, y'all. Patrice, thanks for coming on, baby. She couldn't hold that in. That'd be so funny.
All right. Later, y'all.
All righty.